Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new to my channel, welcome to MedCode Insight. Hi, I am Nishaba, a certified medical coder. In this video, we will discuss another a very important topic of the cardiovascular system, extracorporeal membrane oxygenation (ECMO) or extracorporeal life support services (ECLS), along with guidelines and practice questions to help you to easily grasp the concept. So, without further ado, let's get started. Extracorporeal membrane oxygenation (ECMO) or extracorporeal life support (ECLS) is a procedure that provides cardiac and or respiratory support to the heart and or lungs, which allow them to rest and recover when sick or injured. There are two methods that can be used to accomplish ECMO or ECLS. One method is veno-arterial that supports both heart and lungs. Veno-arterial require two cannulas. One is in the large vein and one in the large artery. The other method is veno-venous. Veno-venous ECMO or ECLS is used for lung support only and requires one or two cannula which are placed in a vein. To accurately address ECMO or ECLS procedure, always refer to this table. ECMO or ECLS primary involves cannula insertion, repositioning, decannulation, or removal procedures. These procedures may be performed via percutaneous, open, sternotomy, or thoracotomy approaches. Here are some important guidelines we need to know before coding for ECMO or ECLS. Repositioning of ECMO or ECLS cannula at the same session as insertion is not separately reportable. If cannula are removed from one vessel and new cannula are placed in different vessel, report the appropriate cannula removal and insertion codes. Fluoroscopic guidance for cannula repositioning is included in the procedure when performed and should not be separately reported. To quickly eliminate the options when selecting the correct code, follow these steps. First, begin by identifying the type of the cannula, whether it is peripheral or central. After identifying the type of cannula, next determine the type of the procedure that was performed, such as insertion, repositioning, decannulation, or removal. Each procedure has a specific codes associated with it. So knowing what was done will guide your selection. In next step, assess the approach used by the provider to perform the procedure. For peripheral cannulas, the procedure may be percutaneous or open, while for central cannulas, it may be associated by sternotomy or thoracotomy. The approach used will further refine the possible code choices. Finally, consider the age of the patient. Age scores may vary depending on whether the patient age is birth through 5 years of age or 6 years and older. By following these steps, you can efficiently eliminate incorrect option and select the appropriate code. A 7-year-old boy is admitted to the hospital due to severe dehydration and requires peripheral venous access for the administration of the fluid. Dr. Smith, a pediatric internist, performed a percutaneous insertion of a peripheral cannula into the child right antecubital vein to begin intravenous hydration therapy. Several hours later, the cannula becomes dislodged due to the child movement and is no longer in the proper position for venous access. After careful assessment, Dr. Smith determines that the cannula needs to be replaced. He removes the dislodged cannula from the right antecubital vein and proceeds to insert a new peripheral cannula into the child's left antecubital vein percutaneously to ensure proper access for ongoing treatment. What will be the appropriate CPT course for this procedure? Option A with code 33,966, option B with code 33,965, 33,951, option C with code 33,952, option D with code 33,966, 33,952. In the given scenario, Dr. Smith removed the dislocked peripheral cannula from the right antecubital vein and inserted a new cannula percutaneously into the left antecubital vein. To resolve the scenario and eliminate incorrect option, we can refer to the coding guidelines related to the insertion and removal of cannulas. According to guidelines, if cannula are removed from one vessel and new cannula are placed in different vessel, report the appropriate cannula removal and insertion course. We will use the ECMO or ECLS table to eliminate the options quickly. Based on the guidelines, we first eliminate option A, which only includes the removal code for the peripheral cannula, and option C, which only includes the code for the insertion of the cannula. In both remaining option B and D, we have codes for removal as well as insertion of the peripheral cannula. However, we will eliminate option B based on the patient age. Since the procedure was performed on 7-year-old boy, the correct option is option D with code 30966 used for the removal and code 33952 used for the insertion of peripheral cannula performed percutaneously for the patient 6 years and older. A premature newborn with acute respiratory distress syndrome has been admitted to the ICU. Despite the use of mechanical ventilation, the baby's condition continued to deteriorate and decision is made to place the baby on venous ECMO for lung support. Dr. Jackson, a critical care physician, insert the venovenous cannula. The baby then receives 48 hours of telemanagement of venovenous ECMO by the physician. What CPT codes are reported? Option A with code 33,948, option B with code 33,948 along with modifier 63, 33,948 along with modifier 63. Option C with code 33,949, option D with code 33,948, 33,948. In the ECMO procedure, there are two types of telemanagement codes. Code 33948 is used for telemanagement of venovenous ECMO, and code 33949 is used for veno-arterial ECMO. In this scenario, the baby received telemanagement of venovenous ECMO by the physician. Based on the type of the telemanagement, we first eliminate option C with code 33949 used for daily management of veno-arterial ECMO. In all remaining options, code 33948 is used for veno-venous telemanagement services. Although the procedure was performed on a premature baby, option B can be eliminated because the note under the code 30948 states date modifier 63 cannot be used with this code. The code 30948 is designed for 24 hours daily management. In this case, the baby received 48 hours of management means the service was provided for 2 days. Because code 30948 only applies to 1 day of telemanagement, option A is also incorrect as it suggests using the code for 1 day of service. Therefore, the correct option is option D, which uses 2 units of code 30,948 to cover the 2 days of telemanagement. A 30-year-old patient was admitted to the hospital on Monday due to pulmonary embolism and was started on ECMO support. To initiate ECMO, a veno-venous cannula was inserted through the femoral vein via a percutaneous insertion. However, on Tuesday, the physician determined that the cannula needed to be repositioned to ensure proper blood flow. Cannula was repositioned via same approach under fluoroscopic guidance. How should the procedure performed on the correct day be coded? Option A with code 33,965, 33,952. Option B with code 33,957. Option C with code 33,958. Option D with code 33,958, 77,001. Since the cannula was repositioned on the correct day under fluoroscopic guidance and the repositioning was performed on a day other than the initial insertion, we will use the repositioning codes only. We first eliminate option A having removal and insertion codes. All remaining options have code used for repositioning of the cannula. Since the procedure was performed on 30-year-old patient, we will eliminate option B with code used for repositioning of the cannula for patient from birth through 5 years of age. In ECMO, all repositioning codes include fluoroscopic guidance, which is not reported separately. Therefore, the correct option is option C with code 33,958 used for repositioning a peripheral cannula percutaneous for patient 6 year and older. Thank you for watching. If you have any question or need further clarification, please feel free to write in the comment section. For more detailed guidelines, CPC mock exam related questions and notes, email me at the giving email ID.